نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد بسم الله. Surah Al-Najm is a Makki surah, 62 ayats and 3 ruku. The name comes from the first ayah, which an oath is taken on the star when it sets. And what the surah covers is, in the beginning, it has an oath from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the truthfulness of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then it firms it up with further details of his interaction with Jibreel Islam and the events of Mi'raj. It also denounces idols that the disbelievers were worshipping and the false belief of the disbelievers regarding angels as daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The surah emphasized individual accountability, reward and punishment based on one's own actions and not really affected by the action of others. And finally, it mentions the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as manifested in the human events of happiness and sadness, life and death, initial creation and resurrection. And of course, if nations do not follow his commands, he could destroy them as he has destroyed the nations of the past. In terms of the virtues of Surah Al-Najm, this is the first surah in which the verse of prostration was revealed, as narrated by Abdullah bin Masud in Bukhari. Let's go through the summary of verses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphatically pronounces the prophethood of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and declares his message as divine revelation. مَا ضَلَّ صَاحِبُكُمْ وَمَا غَوَى وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. So whatever comes out of the mouth of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is actually a wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The surah gives a description and qualities of Jibreel alayhi salam. علمه شديد القوى ذو مرة فاستوى وهو بالأفق الأعلى. Mentions the ascent of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Mi'raj and his unique honor to go beyond the lotus tree, the Sidratul Muntaha, and this is a unique honor of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one, even Jibreel alayhi salam, has been able to cross that limit, and yet Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the night of Mi'raj was able to go beyond it and have a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى عِنْدَ سِدْرَةِ الْمُنْتَهَى and لَقَدْ رَآ مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِ الْكُبْرَى. Wishful thinking does not lead to desired outcome. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, أَمْ لِلْإِنسَانِ مَا تَمَنَّى. So whatever a person wishes, does he get it? Not really. You have to take actions to get to the desired outcome. And we learn about disbelievers, how their focus is completely on the worldly knowledge. But that is not something that is desirable for believers. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَعْرِضْ عَمَّنْ تَوَلَّى عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَلَمْ يُرِدْ إِلَّا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا ذَلِكَ مَبْلَغُهُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اهْتَدَى. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to turn away from those who've actually turned away from our remembrance, and all they want is the life of this world, and that has been the focus of all their efforts. So the message for us is our focus should be beyond just this world, and we should be considering what would happen to us when this life passes away. Minor sins are forgiven for someone who avoids major sins. الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم إن ربك واسع المغفرة. So lamam has two definitions, as we discussed. It could mean minor sins, or it could mean sins that someone performs but right away realizes that he made a mistake, and then the believer asks for forgiveness and makes sure that he does not repeat the same sin. Both are in the definition of lamam. It is not appropriate to self-proclaim piety and righteousness. That's the other important message in the surah. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. So do not consider either for yourself or vouch for anyone else how he is so pious, or I am so religious. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the true status of a person in his eyes, and we can only claim what we know and what we see, but the true status is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. every soul is responsible for his own action. أَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ مَا سَعَى. No one's load will be given to someone else on the day of judgment. Everyone has to respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about questions that he would be asked on his own actions. And similarly, all the good deeds that a person would have done in this world, he will be rewarded. We did talk about there are some exceptions in terms of Safwatul Jariyah, as it comes in a hadith, the three things that will continue to benefit a person even if he leaves the world. And one of them is acts that are for general welfare and they continue to benefit people. Then there is knowledge which he has shared with others and they continue to act upon it. And then, of course, the offspring that continues to make dua for such a person. The benefits of these acts would continue to elevate his status. We learn about Allah's power in making someone laugh or cry, in making someone alive or dead, in creating two kinds, male and female, and in various examples of punishment to nations of the past. He has full power on all these things and beyond. وَأَنَّهُ هُوَ أَضْحَكَ وَأَبْكَى وَأَنَّهُ هُوَ أَمَاتَ وَأَحْيَا وَأَنَّهُ خَلَقَ الزَّوْجَيْنِ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى مِن نُطْفَةٍ إِذَا تُمْنَى. In terms of past nations, وَأَنَّهُ أَهْلَكَ عَادًا الْأُولَى وثمود فما أبقى وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا هم أظلم وأطغى والمؤتفكة أهوى. The expected behavior from Quranic recitation is softening of the hearts and weeping. أفمن هذا الحديث تعجبون وتضحكون ولا تبكون. And finally, prostration is wajib upon the reciter as well as the listeners. فاسجدوا لله واعبدوا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم